ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. My name's Veronica.
I'm Mia.
And we are the co-founders of the Black Coffee Factory Brew,
which is a magazine, in case there is confusion, because we've only made one post and then
we deleted it. Please don't roast us because it didn't go with our theme, but
because we're not Visco girls.
Anyways, that's besides the point. So in case you're wondering what the heck this is, we have decided to start a segment on our Instagram page called Cafe Chats.
Yeah, so the point of the magazine, if that is also confusion because we didn't get too into depth about that, is to focus on the people around us in our community, mainly the 209, the Bay Area. And we live in Stockton in specific, and there are, a lot of issues here. And we want to just share our experiences and do what we can to help in any way. And so we feel like conversation is one of the biggest steps to making change, awareness, and being open. And so in this chat, we're going to be talking about our plans for the future and our fears, and just see where
everything
it goes.
In between.
Yes.
And if you're wondering where the name Cafe comes from, if you're looking at the freaking picture, we have issues. So we decided to turn those issues.
There's 3 coffees in the picture and, only 2 of us. So do the math.
But anyways, so future plans.
And I sound like a toad because I'm sick.
Shut up.
Okay.
Future plans. So one of the big future plans that we both have to kind of also help push and broaden the different possibilities of our magazine is to travel. And we want to do that as soon as we graduate. That's the goal, because we're trying to be outie. So, but there's so many struggles that come with that, and it's just tough, man.
We're scared.
We're freaking scared, not gonna lie.
For context, in case you're not planning to read the giant paragraph we wrote, we're in high school, we're seniors, and the year just started, but if you look at a calendar, we graduate in June. That is not that far. And we have no job because there's just so much on our schedules. We're like, I just now have the free time to start applying to jobs, but we don't have a job. We don't have money saved.
I have no time at all for a job because I decided it would be a good idea to do 50,000 different things at once. So that's an issue.
But we're also very stubborn, and as soon as we have the freedom, when we graduate, we want to get out and do everything our parents never allowed us to do.
And the thing is, it's difficult because both of our parents have a very set idea of what we should do and how we should do it. And we decided to take the liberty to do everything against that. So, yeah.
And that's even harder because, my parents are pretty supportive. I wanted to take a gap year. I still do. And my dad was cool with that if I were to live at home still, get a job, maybe help pay a bill or two or my phone or something, and save up for college. And I was surprised that he was even supportive of that, but I don't think he would go for me just hitting the road with a friend with no plan, no money,
no direction.
So it's we're not expecting to get support from this, but
at the same time, Nia once told me, they give you the wings and then you decide to fly and do what you want.
I said that?
Yes, you did, ma'am.
Look at me.
So that's what we plan on doing, but the more we think about it, the scarier it gets, because even though, like Nia said, the year just started, it's right around the freaking corner.
I can't even believe we've already done 3 years. That's
crazy. The first semester is already almost over. And before you know it, we'll be graduating and then free to do whatever we want. But how we act upon that freedom is the scary part.
And I know a lot of people what's the rush? You guys could stay home for a little bit and then, take a trip when you have the money and the, financial stability and whatever. But I feel like that's what we're always waiting on, is other people. And I know we're still so young and it's okay to be a little bit dependent on our parents and start getting a job and trying to do things for ourselves. But at the same time, it's kind of we have so many big ideas and ambitions, and we're always wanting to get out and do things and meet new people, and it's everybody else is telling us that's a bad thing to do because it's not the conventional thing to do. which makes us want to do it even more.
Exactly.
Like, as scared as I am, that doesn't make me want to do it any less. I think
Same.
it would be fun to just do something spontaneous and see what happens.
And we both agreed that we're not afraid to struggle.
We're already struggling.
We're already
as you will come
struggling.
to find.
So we might as well struggle with doing something that we feel passionate about
Fun.
and are ready to take on. And we don't know much.
We don't know anything.
We don't know jack crap. But we're willing to get out there and learn.
Yeah, and
So-
it's nice to have somebody that is willing to do it with you, because like I said, this isn't a conventional thing to have no money saved and expect to take a trip like 6-ish months from now. I don't know. When is June? I don't know.
A while. This is everything they tell you not to do, especially with the school that we go to. We go to a school that's very prestigious and focuses a lot on getting you to a college.
It's literally an early college.
It's literally an early college academy, and all they focus on is getting you through school and have school be your number one priority. And we've both been told that we would be good at applying to pretty prestigious schools. Like, I know our counselor brought up to you private school, and the same counselor almost beat me up at the thought of a gap year. So that makes it even scarier to try to take an initiative like this, especially with the little money and the very high anxieties that we have now.
And
But-
our health and like we have, so we'll get into it in like later chats, but there's like a lot that could go wrong with us because we're not very healthy
Physically and mentally
Mentally.
and financially. So that is very scary, but I think that adds to the kind of beauty and importance of getting out there and getting a taste
yeah,
of
she gonna get it safe.
life. Please.
Yeah, there's like no support. Like I've had other friends that be like, yeah, I want to take a trip and da-da-da-da, but I don't think anybody, like, maybe they really want to, and that's the sad thing is, like, there are so many like artistic and talented kids at our school, but it's been so ingrained into them, and like it's etched into their being that they have to go to a 4-year college right after they graduate because that's what they signed up for. We literally signed a paper saying that's what we're going to do when we graduate.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so nerve-wracking, because there's like no support and nobody's going to help us, and we're just going to have to like figure it out.
And at the same time, you don't want to disappoint the people that you initially went in wanting to make proud, you know? You want
Especially because they helped you get there.
Yeah, like with our parents and stuff, like we mentioned before, as much as we want to get out there and do what's best for us, they're trying to do what's best for us too. So it's hard to possibly go in with the ability. Nia just dropped something.
The card flew.
It's hard to go into something not knowing 100% that you're going to be making them proud. But then you also have to find that balance of what's more important, making other people proud or making yourself proud with what you're doing.
And it's not like that's the thing is, like, also you're not hurting anybody in the process. Maybe you're hurting their ego and you're not meeting their expectations, but like we know from experience, like, we've tried to make other people happy and proud thinking that would make us happy, but really, like, it's tearing us apart. And we have these big ideas, like I said, we're, you know, like, really ambitious, but as soon as somebody makes a suggestion or says they don't like something about what we're doing, we change it to make them happy. And like, everything we've started thus far has gone to doo-doo because it's not what we envisioned.
Literally every single thing. We go into everything with wanting the best intentions, and we're so eager to get that taste of independence and make us feel like we're contributing to this big difference. But we're so focused on also making sure that everybody else is okay and fine with what we're doing in the process that we lose sight of that ambition and that passion. And then we're sitting here making a cafe chat about how scared we are for the future. But I think when it comes to something as big as our future, if this dang wind would shut up,
We love nature.
I think when it comes to something that big, I would rather struggle and go against what everybody wants us to do than be sad sitting at a 4-year university, spending all this money, knees up to loans, for something that I'm not going to be entirely happy with.
And it's like we do want to go to college because we know that
Yeah.
in the climate, like, you need that degree, as sad as it is to say that you're a valuable asset to a job or a company, whatever. And I would honestly prefer to be my own boss. Like, all of this is scary. Like, we're trying to do a magazine on our own, and we like everything we want to do is so unconventional, and people are trying to push us away from doing that because they're scared for us too, which we get.
And so uncertain. We don't know if this is gonna take off. We don't know if we're gonna get more than 30 views on this freaking chat. We don't know where we're gonna get all the money. We don't know anything. All we know is that we both want the same thing, and we're both not afraid to go out and do what it takes to get it.
And it feels good to at least say we tried. And that's another thing. Like, so many people have these big dreams and they don't go after them because they're like, the statistics don't add up. They're not on their side. But at the same time, it's like, I would feel, I don't know, like, pretty useless if I had all these ideas and I'm not trying to pursue any of them. Like, at least we tried, and we know what works, what doesn't, what we can do better, what we like, what we don't like. And
I think people forget too that we are fortunate enough to where if it all goes to crap in the end, we have somewhere to fall back on, even if it's with each other. That's the beauty of going into it with someone who's as eagerly passionate about something as you are, is that you have that other person to rely on, and the people back at home too. So I'd rather go out there, like Nia was saying, and try and say we did something, there was an attempt, than sit there and not do something because we were too scared to do it.
The other thing is, like, getting ridiculed, because everybody's so worried about what other people think of you. Like, somebody told me they wanted to take a gap year, but they weren't going to because then they would graduate later than their friends. Like, well, your friends are probably stressing out while you're taking a trip somewhere, and you're getting to experience more things, and then maybe when you go into college you have a better idea, a more confident idea of what you want to do.
Exactly.
Like, so many people I know right now are in college and they're like just stressing out, and they're taking all these classes for a career they don't even want. They're just trying to find a career that makes money, and like, that's perfectly fine. Not everybody has to, you know, be free, independent birds and be all crazy and spontaneous like us, but we'd like to think that the best life is just a happy life. And
exactly,
I know that the probability of us not making it big or anything like that is pretty high. I don't think that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to pursue all the things we're interested in and explore and get out there, because the world is so big and so many people we know are just like stuck here, miserable, complaining. Like, if we have the opportunity to go, I want to go. And if we come back, I feel like we're gonna come back and people are gonna be like, oh, I didn't turn out the way you wanted, like, you guys came back so soon,
but that's
what
not
happened?
the point.
Yeah, but that's like, everybody wants to do that because they don't want you to succeed, because they think that if they were to do it they would fail, so they don't want us to go out there and then be happy and successful because they didn't think they could do it. But like, at least try.
Yeah, I think that's such a problem too, especially with the school that we go to. It's so ingrained in us that everything in life has to be a competition, which is why people are so against a gap year, especially from at least our parents' perspective, and mine especially, is that, you know, everybody's like, you have to get out there, you have to be the first one to do this, you have to beat your friends in doing this. If you go out there, you get a taste of life, and you come back not as big as you want to be, then that's a bad thing, because you're supposed to be constantly competing with other people and yourself to be the biggest and the best. But it doesn't always have to be like that. Like, I know I was talking yesterday with a friend too, and they said that they're very passionate about something like art, but they said that they feel like they're obligatory to go to a 4-year university first and then enjoy life afterwards and do what they actually want to do, just so that they remain ahead of the game. And I feel like that's a big issue with the education system, first off, because they ingrain that in your brain, but with people that are opposed or are scared for us and don't want us to take on this big thing that we want to do.
Her car is so loud. What was that?
For what reason?
That's not even a car.
What reason?
If your car sounds like that,
get a new car.
No, but yeah, it doesn't even feel like a game. It's like a rat race. Like, we're being trained to remember certain things, not even learn. Honestly, in my 3 years, I barely got like a decent score on the SAT. And we're supposed to be going to like this crazy good school. I'm not learning anything. I'm remembering things temporarily to get a good score on a test so I can pass and move on. It's like levels. It's like a maze. It's like we're rats in a lab, and they're trying to see what methods work so that the numbers on the screen will be higher for us, and we can get into a college where we'll just still be in this race, in this cycle.
And for what? What is the reason if you're not going out there and doing something that you're entirely 100% happy with?
And sometimes college is that for you. Like, you're like, I'm really passionate about medicine and I need to be going to this college and I love these classes and it's a lot of work and it stresses me out, but I know it'll be worth it. If that's your dream, that's totally different. But like us, like, we know we want college, but not 8 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
We don't want to be there right after high school, after we just finished stressing out over these 4 years. Like, we want a break, and we think education is very important, but it depends like who you are and what kind of path you want to take, because everybody does not have to be on the same 4-year plan.
And I think for us, especially with the school that we went to, you know, we kind of earned it. It's so weird to know that you are still so ahead because of all of the college credits we're able to complete, since, like we mentioned before, we go to an early college, yet people are still opposed to you taking a break to do what's best for you, even though you're already so ahead of the game. And that's crazy, you know?
And that's the sad thing, is some kids don't feel like they've earned anything. Like, they're just working and they're killing themselves, and they think like you get a break when you finish college or something, but then you start working and it's like, when does it end? You just work yourself to death.
And at the same time too, it's, for us personally, I think there's so much more life out there than this town, and we've both experienced, I know we're still young, but we both experienced a handful of toxic situations from everything going on in our town and the people that we've so fortunately been able to associate with in our lives, that there's so much more out there to explore and to be able to somehow contribute to our work. And like we said, if it doesn't go well, at least we're that much more knowledgeable and have that much more experience to take with us into college.
But I don't think we can fail. It's like, we're not expecting much from the trip. We just want a break and the chance to explore. Like, nothing, I don't think there's any way we can come back and say, oh, we failed. Like, the fact that we went out there and did something that a lot of people are too scared to do, that's a win to me.
Same. I agree.
But yeah, like, the world is freaking huge, and sometimes I forget that. Like, you turn on the news, you turn on the news and you hear something and you're kind of like, oh, that's all the way across the globe, that doesn't affect me, and you like ignore it. In our class, it's a fact. It goes into the history books and we learn it, like I said, and you remember it for a little bit and then take a test and it's gone. But like, if you actually went to that part of the world and you've seen the conditions and talked to the people, like, that's an experience that I want to have. It's like,
to get out there, you know. The place, Stockton, is such a small town, and although we appreciate, because this will always be home, we appreciate it, but this is not all that there is, and we don't want that to be the only thing for us.
Honestly, Stockton is very toxic. Like, it has, I think every place will have its own little gems, but like, as a whole, Stockton, from what I've experienced, is just hecka toxic, and it's, every place you go will be dangerous, but Stockton's just a little more dangerous, a little more toxic than other places I've been. And that's the thing, is like, some people want to leave and never come back and just leave their past in the past. But that's not what we want to do. We want to come back and we want to share what we're learning like we are now, because I feel like that's how you grow, is you learn from other people and not just keep regurgitating the same ideas and beliefs.
Right.
And get out there and bring it back and try to help the people that helped you get to where you are.
Exactly.
Because even though, like, a lot of people grow up with negative situations, they grow up to be some of the most, like, inspirational people, and they still pay homage to where they came from, because without that circumstance, you wouldn't be who you are.
We're not saying screw Stockton, and we're not trying to complain about Stockton without having any issues to solve. We just want to use the new experiences that we're striving to gain from the places that we want to go, and this magazine, to come back and pay tribute to Stockton and help it in any way we can.
And we're not even trying to make money off the magazine. Like, I think we could start selling it. Before, I was just kind of like, you can have one for a donation of any price, because this was just something that I wanted to do. And a lot of people, you know, like, this is, I don't know, I always have random ideas, and I know, like, I'm not a big name, I'm not a big persona to where people will pay money for everything that I come up with. But I feel like the information that we can put into the magazine, it would be valuable if we could share it with as many people as possible. So whether we end up selling it or not, it won't be expensive. Our goal is not to make money. It's just to spread ideas and positivity
and help in any way we can.
Yes.
Oh, and to make it more clear, because we never really stated our travel plans. We just said we want to travel. Like, once we graduate, we're planning on, oh my god, speaking this into existence is gonna sound so weird.
Do it.
Hang on with us for a minute, please. I know we just said we had no job, no money, deteriorating health, but when we graduate, we would like to, and will end up doing,
I want to do it.
is
Somehow.
we want to somehow get a van, purchase a van. It doesn't have to be an extravagant van, just
It
a van
won't
to
be.
get us from place to place so we don't have to pay for hotels. And we want to get in that van and have a list of places to just go and visit and get a taste of the culture and experience things and write about it, report back on it. Get a taste of the different people, different problems that we don't see because we're in Stockton and we only see the problems going on here. And
Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say, just besides, like, we both know what we're getting ourselves into, believe it or not. Like, we're not stupid.
we are terrified.
We know little girls go missing.
We are
know there are
terrified.
creeps. We know you need money.
Oh my gosh, we know
And
that
we're
we don't know
vegan.
crap. We're freaking vegan.
We're
Where are we gonna go eat, bro?
I mean, we barely eat as is right now, but
yeah, like
we
we're-
know it's gonna be difficult. Just know that we're not completely ignorant, but at the same time, it's kind of like, at this point, what do we have to lose?
What do we're already
lives.
struggling. We might as well struggle doing something that we,
think we're gonna love?
yeah. And if we don't love it, then you'll see us back here in like a year or two.
Yeah, they're saying.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, if you're so fortunate to find a friend who is as crazy as you, start a magazine with them and then travel even though you're terrified as heck.
Just gotta live life.
Yeah.
And if you're like, I'm like, I don't want to keep talking because it's almost 3 and we gotta go back to school for the meeting. But, whether you're religious or not, I think we have one life personally, and even if you were reincarnated, like, you never get to relive this life.
this exact life.
And like, from a religious standpoint, my dad thinks like God already knows when you're gonna go. And so despite what you do, like, no matter how hard you try to prevent something or to make something happen, like,
it
your
ain't
time will
up to
come.
you, man. It's not up to you.
And that's what I believe. Like, even if I died traveling, I think that I'd be happiest that way than dying here
And
from
we'd
depression.
be together.
Yeah, so I'm happy that Veronica is doing this with me, because
I'm happy you asked me to.
She's a hoot.
I'm a hoot. I'm an owl, apparently.
And look for our bodies and names on the news in a few months.
Yeah, and if you have anything else you want us to go into detail more, or if you can relate to anything we've talked to somehow, and you want to put it in the comments so that we can talk about it in the next cafe
We will
chat.
delete your crazy comments.
And never report back. It's just
We're
kidding.
sensitive.
And we'll be able to include them in our chat. Just please be nice to us, because we, as independent and bad that we sound, we're sensitive as heck, and we will cry and delete. So please be gentle with us. Constructive
cry.
criticism is different from being a hater.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for listening if you made it this far.
If you didn't,
Screw
Okay.
you. Just kidding.
professionalism. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Veronica and Mia out.